Well, let's talk about the pay-per-view. Of course, we're talking about Fall Brawl 95. It goes down September 17th in Asheville, North Carolina. Most definitely Horseman country. Lots of fans in that area. Really looking forward to that match. But probably nobody more than you, because you've acknowledged that you had so much admiration for Rick as a performer and one of the best ever, and you're a fan of Rick's, and you've seen him develop this reputation with everybody else as being one of the greatest ever, and now instead of working with him, you're working against him. What sort of pressure does that create for you?
It was a two-headed monster. On one side, I did get to be involved in a top flight, top shelf singles match, which was not my forte usually. I was usually in a different role, either in a tag match or a supporting role. So it was going to be featured. But in the back of my head, I was a little intimidated to be working with Rick. Number one, I have no babyface skills. Make that clear. No drop kicks, nothing off the top, nothing flashy. I brought nothing to the table in that respect. That was not my style, nor would I have switched my style, to be honest with you, that much for that particular night, because I still think there really wasn't a good guy and a bad guy. It was two brothers fighting, and some people wanted to see it and some people didn't. Some people wanted to look, and some were looking with one eye and one eye closed. But it was just all the hype that was around it made it special, but it made me a nervous wreck. And again, in those days, you didn't sit down and talk about a bunch of stuff. This was going to be a go out there and let's feel it out and let's run with it. And we know how much time we have approximately, and we're just going to go have a fight and see how it turns out.
You know, in those days, as you said, you wouldn't necessarily lay out the entire match, but did you already have, and you knew the amount of time you had, but did you have the finishing sequence in mind, or would you talk through any major, sort of plot points in the story of the match or anything like that, or just number of minutes and we know Rick's going over, let's go figure it out or whatever?
Yeah, we knew the finish, and we knew that would get heat, especially if we could make that contest, if we could suck them in enough to get involved in the match to where maybe deep enough into it, 20 minutes or so into the match, people don't know necessarily that it's going to be the figure four. I think that was a gimme going into the match in most people's minds. But if we could paint a picture that I had a chance before Brian came down and did the screw job, then, it would have been intriguing. And the fact that Eric or whoever made the call to allow us to have the talent, which I'm sure was a pain in their ass, sit out in the crowd was like that's something had never been done. To have the actual talent concerned or at least interested, in the very least, what would happen if these two guys got in a fight, and having them sitting in the crowd and playing off of their reactions made it, in my mind, special, made it different.